Section 4.5 is rules of exponents. So let's take a look at a couple of exponential rules. The first is the product of powers property. And it says to multiply powers with the same base, this is important, the base has to be the same, add their exponents. So I'm going to look at this three ways. The first is with some letters. So if I have the same base, I hope we all know that in this expression, A is the base and M is the exponent. The whole thing is called a power expression. So they have the same base. So to multiply powers with the same base, I add their exponents. Let me show you one with numbers. 3 to the 5th times 3 to the 4th is the same as 3 to the 5 plus 4. You notice that I added their powers, or in other words, 3 to the 9th power. Doing it with a variable base, b to the 7th times b to the 3rd is b to the 10th. So all I did was add 7 plus 3 to get 10. Now in the past we have looked at this and we've said b to the 7th is b times b times b times b times b times b times b. 7 b's multiplied together. If I multiply that times b to the 3rd, 3 more b's, count those all up, and we have b to the 10th. So really all I'm doing is I'm saying I have 7 b's multiplied by 3 b's, I end up with 10 b's. All right, let's try a couple of these. So the first example, I have x to the 4th times x squared times x. Now if I wanted to write that all out, x to the 4th times x squared times x, we could count these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But much quicker, 4 plus 2, there's an understood power of 1 there. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 is x to the 7th. This one's a little bit trickier. 3x squared times 4x cubed times y to the 4th. So let's look at these two pieces first. When we have 3x squared, that means 3 times x. It does not mean that the 3 is squared. Only the x is being squared. So this would be 3 times x times 4 times x times x times x times y times y times y times y. Again, I don't want to have to do it this way anymore. I want to be able to use my power rules. But if I were to do it this way, I would have 3 times 4 times 5 x's times 4 y's. Now let's go back to the original. The 3 and the 4 are coefficients. I can bring those out front. Times x squared times x cubed times y to the 4th. We're going to use our product rule. If the bases are the same, I can add their powers. So I'm going to get 3 times 4 is 12, x to the 5th, y to the 4th. I cannot combine these because they have unlike bases. Okay, we'll do some more of these in class, but I want to get us a few examples. Let's look at the quotient rule now. The quotient rule says to divide powers with the same base, subtract the exponent of the denominator from the exponent of the numerator. In other words, a to the m divided by a to the n, we take m minus n, top minus the bottom. When we do division, a cannot be 0 because you cannot divide by 0. So just keep that in mind. Okay, 6 to the 7th divided by 6 to the 4th is 6 to the 7 minus 4, or 6 cubed. M to the 5th over m cubed, m to the 5 minus 3, or m squared. Let's look at this one. M to the 5th is m times itself 5 times, m cubed. And in this way, if I write it all out, I can cancel 3 of the m's and get m squared. But again, if the powers are really big, instead of writing it all out and canceling, I'm just going to use my subtraction rule. So 5 to the 4th divided by 5. Remember, we have an understood 1 here. So 4 minus 1 is 3. 4x to the 8th over 10x squared. These are the pieces with like bases. The 4 and the 10 have nothing to do with my powers. That's going to be x to the 8 minus 2. I can simplify 4/10 to 2/5 and get x to the 6th by using my subtraction rule. Okay, the last type of problem we're going to see is using both properties. Now, the first thing that I would suggest that you do is do all of the top and all of the bottom. So let's look at the top. I've got a 3, and I've got an m to the 5th times an m squared. So that's going to be m to the 7th. And the bottom is just 6 over m cubed. Now, 3 over 6 is 1 over 2. M to the 7th over 3 would be m to the 7 minus 3, so m to the 4th over 2. I know this is a little confusing, but we're going to do plenty of these in class together. So again, the 24 and the 15 act together, the w's act together, the z's act together. Same bases. 24 over 15 can be simplified to 8/5. W to the 4th over w squared would be w to the 4 minus 2. You notice how they come to the top. And z to the 9 minus 3. So I have 8w squared z to the 6th over 5. And again, get this down. I would maybe watch through it a second time. It's a short video. Make sure you get a good understanding, and we'll talk about it in class.